So, this weekend has been filled with a lot of creative energy and a lot of attempts to get better at my own ambitions. Very, I've been very inspired and focused on my musicality. I thank Satan for that inspiration. Now, Sunday is always the day that I devote to Him, a day that we should always devote to Him. Not because our adversaries are out there at church, at Mass, at prayer, but because it brings us back. It marks a point in time to where we can stop everything that we are doing. Stop the overwhelm, stop the excess, stop the procrastination and the distractions. If it weren't marked on my calendar this Sunday and every other Sunday, I think today I might have just forgotten to do any sort of study, to do any sort of research, to do any sort of prayer, to do any sort of anything because I've been so invested in my music. And my music has an element in it. It involves worshiping Satan. But sometimes I feel like that's not enough. I mean, you might think, yeah, that's a big act, right? Outside of ritual, it's one of the most creative things you can do. Taking a hobby of yours and transforming it into something devotional is almost, it's widely coveted. But there's nothing better than getting back to the basics of reading a good book or writing something from the heart. So I feel like today I definitely needed that reminder to get me out of that zone, get me out of that flow state. Sometimes flow state isn't all that good because you forget to eat, you forget to exercise, you forget to stand up, for fuck's sake. And that's me most of the time. I get very, very ambitious. And so I found myself midway through the day writing and reading, and I learned several things. I learned different things about demonolatry and theistic practice and whatnot. I learned about the black flame of inspiration. And in S. Connolly's book, I think Connolly's she did mention that it is a Satanist's obligation and duty to inspire other Satanists, even though it is our right to express our practice individually, creatively. It is the highest form of Satanism to live by your own will, to act by your own will. Even as theistic Satanists, the will of self is still the highest form of Satanism. Even Satan himself would agree that he would agree about that. He wouldn't just make you or force you to completely look up to him or live up to him. Of course, he wants you to be inspired by him, but that's not what the movement is about. That's not what the path is about. The path is very abstract. It's very unique, and There's not one set program for Satanism. And I feel like I can be at least a lighthouse in all of this dissonance and chaos going on in the world now. I can at least sit here with you and ground you into what's really important, and that's your practice. That's you taking time away from friends and family, or incorporating it with friends and family, depending on their practice, depending on what they believe. Taking some sacred time for yourself. And if you have a hard time doing that, it's even more important to do so. And then write a grounding statement solidifying the fact why you're even doing this. So I'll give you an example. Hope you like my little journal. Got the OG Jesus on there. Hell yeah. Alright. I made this sucker into a grimoire. Why not, right? Alright, grounding statement. That's what we're looking for. Battery low. Grounding. Why would I want to devote my life to this? Because I was writing about ornamental devotion, micro rituals, scaling rituals, and cleanliness. Why would I want to devote my life to this? I said I appreciate the perspective of the world that I share with the champion. I feel connected in a way that makes me whole. I don't feel alone, and I don't feel confused when I devote myself to his message. I feel immense pride to start a ministry in his name. Outside of the ministry thing, it's saying that I believe in the message. I relate to you. We are in one way or more congruent and similar. We believe in seeing the same things, right? There's just this unnamed pull and calling towards the black flame that most of us can identify with and can't really explain, although we feel it as ambition, fervor, and love. There's no telling how deep it really goes, right? Remember, I'm a student first. Even though I'm put in this position, I put myself in this position, doesn't mean I know everything. Doesn't mean I want to know everything. I want to know the basics. I want to learn from our old tradition, our recent and old masters, as should you. And that will help you ground yourself more. Writing that statement and getting back to the basics while also holding your own traditions. You can be as creative as you want. There is no limit. I would only add the basics. I would only get to a level where you can understand the basics. So that way, if you ever do a group ritual, or if someone wants to understand your faith, or understand your devotion, I keep using the word faith, I don't mean to. It's a lot more streamlined, and it's a lot more accessible. But again, it doesn't have to be. So this Sunday is calling for a grounding statement. It's calling you to go back to the basics. Understand why you're here. Understand why you love Satan. Understand why you love yourself. Understand what you're willing to do in the name of this religion, in the face of anyone that will get in your way. So that way when the time comes to defend yourself, you have a harder and more broad rock to stand on. You don't want to be caught off guard. And I'm not trying to fearmonger, but you need to be ready for these things. You need to be rhetorically sound at least. Even something as simple as, that is the love of my life. Satan is the love of my life. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, no matter what paradise you promise me, no matter what hell you damn me to, nothing's going to change that. Even if it's as simple as that small conviction, you're in a far better league to defend yourself and make the rest of the Legion of the Black Flame look that much better. So ground yourself, build that statement, go back to the basics. I recommend Reverend Cain S. Connolly, and there's a demon altar. I'm gonna have to bring that back in the next sermon. The one author I'm reading for demonolatry, and obviously Anton LaVey. You can't go wrong with him. Keep it simple, keep it fun, keep it consistent. Don't try to overwhelm yourself with too much. If you find yourself yearning for more, do more. Do more. More will come. You'll build the momentum. That's the goal. If you don't feel like doing something, if you don't feel like doing any devotional work, if you're kind of stuck, build the momentum. And the momentum will usually get you through the basics of what you have to do, or they'll show you that you have way more than you expected, and you'll be able to escalate that into either a ritual or a writing session or music session, or something unique of your own to do. I'm not here to tell you how to practice. I am here to eventually educate you on the basics, another video of another time, and inspire you as much as possible, or just be, again, that lighthouse. One final note, there's not many mouthpieces on YouTube that I've seen that are in the same position as I am, that hold these sermons regularly, that people can attend to. And I know my rhetoric can be better, and I know my flow can be better, but I believe in what I'm saying, and only time will be able to shape my foundation, my commitment. So appreciate what I can offer, and if there's anything else that you need, I'll put my email publicly so you can reach out to me, and we can either collaborate or support something you've been curious on. But that's it for this sermon.